David Littleproud, thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me, Lee.
Michael McCormack has a chunk of his own colleagues who want him gone. Barnaby Joyce has no reason to not try again. And in the regions, independents and minor parties are stalking the National Party vote pretty effectively in some places. Surely Michael McCormack is odds on to be replaced by the next election given those factors.
Well, that's a big call. The unique psychology of the National Party room is that we can have a mature, constructive conversation, as we did today, about what we do well, what we can do better, and we can do it face to face.
What do people want to see done better?
Well, the feedback's for the entire party. It's not just the leader. There's 21 of us.
He was the one challenged.
Oh, well, with respect, obviously, we all have a role to play, and what we need to do is all lift and make sure that we enunciate clearly what we've done with respect to the drought, over $8 billion, $2 billion as a first, an additional payment on the fires. But what people have got to understand is you might get a warm, fuzzy feeling voting for a micro party, but 5 minutes after, all you get is a professional complaints desk, and that won't get you in. You won't be inside the room cutting the checks. We cut the checks, and we've done a lot, but do we need to be louder about selling that? Well, yeah, probably we do, but we're a humble bunch being from the bush.
And he's not here tonight, you are.
No, that's on everybody. When we go out and invest $8 billion in the drought and over $2 billion initially for the fires, that's up to everybody to go out and sell that it was the National Party, because we're sitting at the table, not sitting outside screaming. We were the ones inside cutting the checks in the coalition. We were getting results, and we're a humble bunch, but maybe we've got to do better, and we will. And I think that's good feedback. You shouldn't be afraid of feedback. And I think we get caught up in the minutiae and the titillation of Canberra. I mean, no one's beyond reproach. We've all got to do better, from the backbench right through to me and the Deputy Prime Minister, and we've committed to do that.
Can the public trust the coalition to act on reducing carbon emissions and adapting to climate change when we were reminded again today that a chunk of your party doesn't believe in serious climate change action?
Well, we built ourselves up in this country. We're one of the few countries to meet Kyoto, in fact, beat it.
Can you please address what I asked you about, which is the split in your own party?
I'm about to get to it. No. Well, I'm about to get to it. I think you've got to understand, we beat ourselves up. We've got a proud history of making a global commitment. We lived up to it, and we've made another global commitment that all our party room says that we can achieve, and we intend to do that. And there's various ways that you can do that.
Are you denying that there's a split in your party on this issue?
No, I don't think there's a split. I think you'll understand that the reality is we all have put our hand up and said that we will meet our next international commitment, which we did in our first one of the few countries to beat Kyoto.
But some people want to do more and some people want to do less.
No, we're saying that we're going to achieve our second international commitment, more than what many countries have ever done, and we're going to do that again because we're good global citizens. And how we get there is the conversation that we need to have in a mature environment, and that's what we're doing. We're having a mature conversation about technology and the investment in technology to make sure that our economy isn't destroyed in making sure that we hit our international commitments. We're good global citizens. We've proved that more than anyone else. We should be proud of that rather than belting ourselves up.
In an interview with The Guardian newspaper published on the 10th of September, you said, "I don't know if climate change is man-made." You've been the Minister for Drought and Water for quite a while, areas in which climate change is a key issue. How can you not be educated on that?
Well, I believe in the science, but I'm not a scientist myself. I obviously have to rely on the science, and whether I articulated that clearly or not, you can belt me up for it, but the reality is I'm not a scientist.
No, but
I'm just a bloke from Western
Queensland. It's man-made.
Well, and in fact, no one is disputing that within our party. In fact, most of the National Party will say that there's been some contribution. Now, what level that is obviously science itself is still working through. But we shouldn't get hung up on that. We should be about real action, and that's what we're trying to make sure we continue to do. So our Climate Solutions Fund and making sure that we invest in renewable energies.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to go to this again because, as I say, you're a minister in these key areas. You said, recently that you don't know if climate change is man-made. You can go to the website of NASA, not normally considered a hotbed of woke activists, and you can find within 30 seconds their data that there's a more than 95% probability that human activity has warmed the planet. If you Google climate change and BHP, you get straight onto BHP's website where they're saying that the human influence on global warming is clear. As you say, you're not a scientist yourself. Why wouldn't you take the word of experts from NASA and BHP and say, yes, I accept that climate change is human-induced?
Well, I'm not disputing the science. What I'm saying is I'm not gifted academically to have that scientific background myself, but I'm trusting the science. And what the conversation needs to be is not about this emotional two-word slogan of climate change. We simply have to have practical solutions. And I think we will advance further as a nation rather than having this emotional response to it. Because I think the middle ground in all this is they want practical solutions. They want a cleaner environment, but how we do that without destroying the economy is something that we should back ourselves as the nation, to be able to back ourselves with the technology and the investment to do that. And we've done that with the Climate Solutions Fund. We're doing that with the renewable energies. So we're a smart nation. We're doing that, and we should back ourselves to achieve it.
Do the Nationals still want the Collinsville coal plant in Queensland to go ahead, something for which the Prime Minister's promised a feasibility study?
Oh, definitely. And why shouldn't we? I mean, you can still invest in clean coal technology and reduce emissions. We still got to be able to achieve for every household out there to be able to turn the lights on at night and be able to put the air conditioner on. They should have that amenity, and you can do that by backing ourselves with the new technologies. We shouldn't put ourselves backwards in terms of looking forwards in looking at technology.
Rio Tinto's exited its coal business. South 32 is doing the same thing. BHP makes less than 3% of its earnings now from thermal coal. The world's biggest fund manager, BlackRock, is divesting from coal. Why, when so many businesses see no financial case to invest, is the National Party so keen on it?
Well, we've said that we'll invest in all technologies. We're technologically agnostic, and we're going to make sure that we've created a marketplace.
But business doesn't see the case for this. Well,
the business case is being done. I think that's a little premature to make that statement, and I think it'd be unwise for us to close ourselves off to all types of solutions in not only reducing emissions but also creating jobs and making sure that we have cheap energy. Because you know what, at the end of the day, mums and dads out there need to be able to turn the lights on, turn the air conditioning on, and not pay a fortune for it.
The viewers of this program know that the Auditor-General and the Department of Prime Minister and Cabinet have reported on the Bridget McKenzie sports rorts matter, so we don't need to go through the detail of that again. But let me just ask you, though, as an individual, as elected MP David Littleproud, do you think it's the right thing to do to hand out sports grants on the basis of a colour-coded sheet showing which organisations land in your own party's priority seats?
Oh, look, obviously I think that every member has an understanding their own electorate, but it's got to be equitable as best we can, and that's why...
But do you think that way of doing it's right? Is it the right thing to do?
Well, obviously, I don't think that necessarily getting as partisan as that is the best way to do it. And obviously, we're working past that. We're taking the recommendations of the ANA report, and we'll work through those. And the Prime Minister's been very clear that into the future, there still has to be ministerial discretion. Otherwise, you might as well just let the bureaucrats run it. And that's not a great thing for regional Australia in particular. So this is Australian taxpayers' money, but ultimately, every program that Bridget McKenzie funded was eligible. And I think we have to understand that. And make sure that understand that Bridget didn't break any laws in that.
David Littleproud, congratulations again on becoming Deputy. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me, Lee.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.